We now welcome back rising Republican star, chairman of the Senate Republican Policy Committee, John Thune of South Dakota. And we are joined by Senator John Barrasso, another star Republican from Wyoming. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Senator Thune, you're the policy man. You're the head of the policy committee. You even had Kudlow address your policy committee.
That's right, we did.
Way back last fall, for which I'm grateful. Let me ask you this. We saw President Obama move, maybe centrist, with his spending freeze. I know it ain't perfect. It's just the beginning of that conversation. Do you expect him to move center? Do you expect to hear a call for cooperation with Republicans and join in to improve the economy and the outlook for jobs?
I think, Larry, he will say a lot of the right things, and he has in the past. I mean, a lot of times he says the right things. The question is, will he do the right things? And I think the key is going to be the follow-through. And what we saw, he talked about deficit reduction in his speech last year. He talked about health care reform that would not raise taxes on people making more than $250,000
he talked about open
by
government.
A single dime.
He talked about C-SPAN and the health care deliberation.
I guess what I'm saying is I think you will hear a speech tonight that, as is usually the case, he's a good orator. The rhetoric will sound good, and I think he will make overtures to Republicans. I think the question will be, will it really matter in the end? Because the question in the past, at least, has been, will he follow through? And I think we've seen that he does not.
Senator Barrasso, essentially the same question, but I want to ask you your expectation for tonight's State of the Union message. Do you think there'll be any genuine pro-growth measures in this plan? And by pro-growth, I do not mean more and more government spending. Now, we have this 3-year spending freeze on discretionary payments. That's not a bad start. I came out in favor of it. But I want to know, is Mr. Obama now moving center-right on a new road to economic Damascus? Have the elections given him a burning bush experience?
Well, I think he is going to say all the right things. He'll give a great speech. But tomorrow, the Senate is going to have to vote, Larry, on increasing the debt limit in this country by $1.9 trillion, which tells you that they're really not focused in the right direction. And you talk about businesses. We need to take off the table this health care bill, which is a huge increase in taxes.
Will he take it off the table tonight? That's a great
I don't believe
point.
he will.
I want to ask him, will he take it off the table tonight?
I believe he will not.
There's no one in the country that is for this darn thing.
Well, about 31% of the people, not very many. We ought to get rid of this cap and trade thing. You want to talk about businesses?
Well, he mentioned cap and trade tonight. You are a Western senator. You are from an energy state, the great state of Wyoming. I even have spent a good deal of time there. Will he take cap and trade off the table?
If he wants to give businesses in this country certainty, which is what businesses need, you talk about permanent tax cuts, you talk about doing things that are allowing people to then make the investment to then hire more people, because 70% of the jobs in this country come from small businesses. He needs to take the health care off the table. He needs to take off the table cap and trade. I don't believe he's going to do either of those things, but he will say the right things about jobs, about debt, and he ought to talk about terrorism as well, because I think that's clearly on the minds of the American people.
I think he made a huge mistake. I mean, I'm just saying myself, as a New Yorker, putting this Khalid Mohammed, whatever his name is, in the civil court. He should have been in a military court. He shouldn't be Mirandaized. He shouldn't be lawyered up. That's yet another question. That was a key to Scott Brown's victory. Senator Thune, let me come back to this. Bloomberg News and other outlets are reporting a continuation, an extension of the 50% bonus depreciation for business investment. Now, first of all, is that something you like? And second of all, like all this stuff, why can't it be permanent? Right. Why shouldn't we be extending the Bush tax cut? If you want depreciation reform, and we probably do it, business create jobs, business has been hurt harder than consumers in many measures. What is wrong with permanent reductions in tax rates on individuals and businesses? It's like they have a virus in the White House.
Right. And it should be directed at small businesses because, as John said, that's where the job creators in the economy are. And I guess what troubles me about it, Larry, is they are going to propose some things tonight that we would probably support that are directed at small businesses, but they're going to pay for it out of TARP. They're going to use the TARP authority. TARP wasn't designed for that. TARP wasn't designed to do stimulus or to do other types of programs that the administration wants to do. TARP was designed specifically for a purpose which has now passed. We need to end it and apply that to the debt, which in my view is an exploding time bomb out there. So I think you'll see some proposals for small business tax relief, some that Republicans might support, But if you use the TARP program to pay for it, which is, I think, what they intend to do, I think it's going to be very difficult for Republicans to stay on board.
Do you expect him to renew his call for a bank tax? And do you expect him to continue to bashing banks? You know, the stock market rally ended abruptly as soon as he talked bank tax hike and then all this bank bashing and now the regulation of banks, which many people, including myself, think completely misses the mark as to what happened in 2008. Will this be an anti-bank message? I've seen polls that by 15 percentage points, people do not favor the bank tax. But what's your take? What do you hear back home?
Well, I think anytime you raise taxes in a recession, even if you target, and this is a part of their class warfare thing that they like to do. It's an us versus them, and they want to target the big banks because they think people don't like big banks. But it's a tax increase. It's going to get passed on. And we're in the middle of a recession. You can't create great jobs by raising taxes. I think most of their policy proposals so far, and this is where I say there's a disconnect between their rhetoric and their actions, have been jobs killers. If you look at the health care bills John mentioned or energy taxes, new energy taxes, you look at the amount of spending, the deficits that we would incur as a result of health care, including the Medicare cuts, the tax increases. These are all things that are bad for the economy. And
so he's got to prove himself.
Well, he does.
Rhetoric notwithstanding,
yeah.
There is no road to Damascus. You're still very skeptical.
I'm very skeptical because I have yet to see the rhetoric be consistent with or match the actions.
A week and a half ago, he was a liberal in Massachusetts trying to get his candidate elected.
Right.
Last week, after the Scott Brown victory, he became a populist bashing the banks. And we'll see who comes out tonight. You talk about pushing the reset button. I mean, basically what we're doing is saying that he has gone down the wrong road for a year, which is why 58% of the Americans think that we're on the wrong path.
I want to ask you, just the last one, a little history here. FDR raised taxes. He continued to raise taxes in 1935 and 1936, not unlike the bank tax. He raised taxes on corporations. He raised taxes on something called undistributed profits, which was essentially their capital. This is a tax on bank capital. That's what created the mini depression of 36, 37. That's why I don't understand hiking bank taxes. I thought we wanted banks to prosper.
If you read The Forgotten Man, that's what it says. It extended the depression. But, you know, Larry Summers, the president's guy, said that the recession is over, and that shows how out of touch he is with the American people.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Senator John Thune, thank you very much. Senator Barrasso, thank you very much.
Thanks,
You're both
Larry.
terrific to come on.
We could use a man like